Well, hello there everyone, and welcome to my kitchen. I cannot wait to show you guys what I've made that's in this container. Oh yeah. I have made homemade fig Newtons. This is one of my favorite things to do. I came across this recipe on Pinterest and I just had to make them. I love to make things that you typically see that are store-bought and make them homemade. They are always way better when you make them homemade than store-bought, and these are not hard to make. I'm excited to share this recipe with you, so hang with me because it's that time to get cooking. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do is make the fig Newton dough. So I have here 1 1/4 sticks of butter. To that, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And I'm going to blend this together until it's light and fluffy. Okay, so now I'm going to add 1 egg. I'm going to scrape down the sides of my bowl. All right, I just removed that beater for just a second so that makes it easier for me to zest the orange without that on there. So I'm going to zest 1 orange. I need about 1 tablespoon for the dough, and then the other part of the orange zest I'm going to use for the filling. All right, and then I also need about 1 tablespoon of orange juice. All right, I'm going to put my beater back on and blend this together. All right, next I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of honey. And then I have 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. Then I'm going to give a good pinch of salt. Okay, so once a dough forms, I'm going to remove it and place it on a piece of plastic wrap. Then wrap up the dough and place it in the refrigerator for 1 hour. So while my dough is in the fridge, I'm going to make the fig filling for the fig Newton. All right, I'm using 2 7-ounce packages of the Sun-Maid dried mission figs. I'm going to add them to my food processor, but I am going to remove the stem from each of the figs. Some of them don't have much of a stem. All right, I'm going to add the other part of the orange zest. It's about 1 tablespoon. And I need about 2 tablespoons of orange juice and 1/3 of a cup of applesauce. All right, I'm just going to blend this together till we get a paste. All right, so now I'm going to take my filling and I'm going to place it in a piping bag. All right, so I just removed my dough from the refrigerator. I'm actually going to sprinkle down a little bit of flour onto my counter. All right, then I'm going to start rolling this dough out. And I'm looking for a very large, like rectangle shape. I am going to just trim up the edges. now I need to make 4 strips. And I'm just eyeballing this. If you want exactly, you can get out a ruler. So now I've got my dough cut into strips. I'm going to take my fig filling and just pipe along the center of each of my strips. All right, then you're simply just going to fold this dough around your filling. All right, so after you roll the dough around the filling and you just press it gently with your fingers, then you're going to want to transfer that to a baking tray lined with parchment paper. And this can be just a little bit tricky. And you will want to put it seam side down on your baking tray. All right, so I've got my fig Newtons evenly laid out here on my sheet tray. I've pressed them down so they're nice and smooth. Now I'm going to bake them in a 350-degree oven for 15 minutes. I'm going to check them. You don't want them to get like dark golden brown. You want them to stay a light tan color. Okay, so I just took my fig Newtons out of the oven, and now I'm going to quickly slide them off of this baking tray onto a cutting board here. Take a bench scraper and I'm just going to cut them. What I'm going to do is I just have a Rubbermaid container here and I've lined it with a paper towel. And I'm going to place these, just layer them in the bottom, and I'm going to make a layer, then a paper towel, and then another layer. And what that's going to do is it's going to steam the fig Newtons to keep them from drying out and to give them that cakey texture. All right, so I'm going to place another paper towel down. Okay, so they are still nice and hot, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cover them, and this is going to create the steam inside of this container, and I'm going to let them sit in the container for at least 2 hours. Oh. These are amazing. If you are a fig Newton fan, you're going to want to make these. They melt in your mouth. Oh. And they do not have all those additives and extra ingredients that you see in store-bought. Oh, you have got to try these. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. God bless. And as always, I will see you soon with more delicious recipes.